Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of September 20th, 2014. With me, as always, I am your host, Ellis. With me, as always, I have Wiebold, TJ, and Milky. And as our special guest, we have TBA Avenger, on the podcast.
Oh, so I have a question. Has it really been 10 episodes? Wow.
It has, and remember, the train will terminate at this station.
Okay, so this week we are in the beautiful mountains of Japan, I think it is, on the Feel-Unazuki BF1.jp camera. It's a lovely sunny day. We can see some orange switch diesel units, I think, off in the distance.
They were moving earlier.
They were moving earlier?
Yeah, I saw them shuttle back to where they are right now.
Okay, they're made in Japan, so you never know if they can actually...
Okay.
Are they going to go in and out of the shed like they did last time?
I don't know.
Japanese.
We will have to see.
Are you sure this is Japanese?
I think so. With a name like Feel-Unazuki, I'm pretty sure.
I see /JA, so I'm going to assume Japan. In the title bar above. By the way, you guys, you can control the camera. I can't because of the awkward positioning of my screen.
Okay.
But in any case, we can move on to our
That
first
view.
segment, of course.
I don't know.
Which is rail
that's
fanning.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, why are we looking at the sky?
I fixed it, don't worry.
Don't know. This is another one of those cameras.
Yeah, it is. Alright, so I was originally planning to go to Selkirk today, but I didn't make it, so you guys will hear about that next week, as well as another trip to the Albany train station, where I hopefully will not encounter the same conductor as I did last time I was there.
Have you told this story on Terminus yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like this quick story.
Okay.
No, it wasn't my first, and in fact, I think it took a little while for me to remember to tell it, but yeah, it's definitely one of the ones I told.
That's good then. But anyway, for my rail fanning, even though I have a distinct lack of evil female conductors, I have nothing interesting at all. In fact, it's not even that I don't have anything interesting at all. I have absolutely nothing at all in general. So
He doesn't get out much.
yeah, on that note, TJ.
What? Rail fanning?
Yes.
Still.
And TJ dropped from the call very nearly, just to signify how much nothing he had. But we know Milky has something.
Okay, so this week, I went rail fanning about 4 times. I saw the Coast Starlight, the northbound, southbound, and then I saw Togo. It was the old one, sadly. So I didn't go beep.
Beep.
We didn't know if it was going to explode.
And
Didn't know if it was going to explode, or like our burritos were done, or...
Or we were burning the toast.
Oh,
You know-
no, don't ever burn toast.
You know what's funny? We had a fire drill here because somebody burned toast.
Wow.
No,
And actually, in that case, it wasn't a fire drill. It was,
it was the fire.
It was just a smoke alarms went off and everyone had to be evacuated from the
So
doors.
it was
Every
not
time-
a fire drill, it was a fire.
Yeah, it was a fire.
Every time that a piece of toast is burned, a little bit of Wiebold dies. Remember that.
I doubt you have much left.
Yeah.
Oh look, there's people on the station.
What, you think I have a soul?
You go look at those people on the station. I look over and the camera's pointing at the sky again.
Yeah,
I didn't do that.
In any case,
Yeah, you can see them. They're just at that big train station in the sky.
They were
with
all
all
down
that
here
burnt toast and Wiebold's soul.
Did I just get another point?
No, I didn't give anyone a point yet.
Okay. And on that note, one of the Dash 7 type engines with kind of box cab?
No. Are you sure it's a box cab?
Or is it a steeple cab, Milky?
Fight, kiss.
We can talk more about that later. But,
You wanna go, son? You wanna go?
it's like, It's
Hey,
like a dat.
King Gavin
Oh, wait,
came
no.
out.
Shut up.
It's like a non-wide cab DATS 8, but yeah, that was on one of the trains that I saw, and I saw 2 PNWs. One had former Utah Railway 2005,
Wait, when were you in Rhode Island? No, just kidding.
which made me really happy to see that again. And then I saw 1501 doing some
Yes, please.
switching. And yeah, that's about it for my rail fanning for the past 2 weeks.
And nobody timed it, son of a gun.
Oh,
Alright,
you always
well-
forget that.
I heard Avenger has some rail fanning, and he thought he could top Milky. Well, let's see if he could.
He probably will.
Alright, so recently, I saw yet another KCS SD70 just yesterday.
Kansas City
Which-
Southern.
Looks a freaking awesome.
Yeah, up here
In Sacramento.
Yeah, it
Alright.
was really weird because I've never seen one of those up here. So I was like, I
They're
really
still
don't know what's
around?
going on. Apparently so.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, Kansas City Southern is still around.
Anyways, so
Much
also
tribal from-
2 weeks ago from my camping trip up to Castle Crags near Oregon, I saw I was fishing, and we had river access
Train going
from our
by.
campsite and from across
And he
the
went
river
on
where
there.
the railroad tracks. So there were these. I felt the ground shaking because every time a train went by, but it was shaking more than usual.
I'm a metal machine.
There were 8 locomotives.
Jesus Christ.
What felt like
Got
at
train.
full power with like 30 cars.
What the heck
But
kind
what,
of coach is he?
speed!
but what caught my eye was there were 4 unmarked bright blue locomotives, and they were completely unmarked. They looked brand new, and I wasn't know what was going on. So it was.
You wasn't, no?
Conway, maybe?
I
I-
thought you were going to say there were unmarked boxcars, and I was like, yeah, they were probably just moving quickly because they had ICBMs in them. More on that later.
Mm.
Oh,
On
no,
that-
they were just unmarked locomotives. And then on a recent football game, we went over the
It could
railroad
be-
tracks, and I saw
Riding on a
4
recent football game.
Never mind.
to a football game. I'm sorry, and we were driving along the railroad tracks, and 4 SD80s with 15 container cars rolled by, and I was
Doesn't
like,
kill
That
much.
much power.
Got
I was
power.
like, what are you doing, UP? You don't need that much power.
This isn't the Uinta.
A Jeep,
More on that later.
A Jeep 38 could do that by itself. What are you thinking?
They're
Anyways,
like,
other than that,
They should have just put a nice Mikado on it. 'cause-
or that. But anyways,
Because La France.
after that, I've just seen 3 UPs and 2 Amtrak's lately. That's all I've got.
All right.
That's more than I had, I think. Woo. So
Well,
much
Woo!
somebody actually beat Milky for
Uh,
once. That's like
Amazing.
legendary.
That's legendary.
Speaking of beating me to things, I see something you're writing down here on the dock, PJ. Wicassett and Farmington. You may want to look in my jurisdictions and see WW and FRY.
Aww.
Ha.
You're
ha,
stealing my
ha.
thunder.
He did it
You can
to
have
me
it.
too. He took some stuff on the Uinta. Even
Why
though
do
it
you
was
have so much?
Colorado.
Why do you have so many jurisdictions?
Because I gobbled them all up real quick, and train news is slow, so I still only get 2 things for like
Hey,
12 jurisdictions.
And speaking of assigned jurisdictions,
By the way,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
have Wicassett and Farmington.
Yay!
Because I already have some narrow gauge.
oh,
Some of the SR and RL stuff.
every time somebody
40s.
takes something that's narrow gauge from Wiebold, a little part of him dies.
Why,
Things
well,
are
this is
moving on the
this is
webcam.
not your narrow gauge.
Well,
Oh,
this isn't just narrow.
oh, is this
This is-
tiny 2-foot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Things are moving on the webcam.
Yes, things are moving on the webcam.
Are
They
they
have these
now?
really weird open coaches.
Yeah, it was.
They're like, oh, hurrah, look at this, we took a picture. Oh.
Wiebold!
Oh,
Stop!
the open air feels so
Wiebold.
good.
Everybody.
I'm not speaking.
Everybody
no,
get up. Eve. Come too
Why are
far.
they-
Point.
Hang on,
Uh,
they came from that way and now they went that way and then they're going
Every
back.
day they're shuffling.
It's the steam locomotive all over
Wap,
again.
wap, 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 wap.
Every day they're high soon.
Every day they're isolating.
But, you know, that
Speaking
looks
of
like...
Heisling, Cass says, wait, never mind. Ellis,
Washington.
Okay. So much for that. Well, Steamtown, and in light of news from Steamtown, which doesn't happen too often, and it's always nice to hear from them to make sure they're still around.
Make sure they're still around.
Like your brother-in-law you never wanted.
With their little F units, they're pulling out some trains for the fall foliage excursions, and you gotta know they're gonna be beautiful with the leaves turning color, or at least getting to turning color.
Wow.
Oh, this foliage. It's just
Foliage.
Wow.
Some would call it fall foliage.
A total of 8 fall foliage excursions are planned for this season.
Oh,
And apparently, registrations open at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, October 1st. So
I'm
beat the
thankful.
rush, people.
So beat the rush. Remember, tickets to these things sell out in like 30 days. So
It's actually pretty
Well,
fast.
3
Yeah,
months.
what's funny is they do actually sell out pretty quickly, I've heard. Or at least they sell a bunch of them, like, right off the bat, because people go out for these.
Especially when the steam. Oh wait.
Yeah, these are unfortunately all diesel powered. Unfortunately, hopefully they'll get that Pacific back up and running. But the guys who run that website are just terrible at keeping it updated. So
wow,
I
we
haven't
just
heard
lost
anything.
the guys that run that website.
I don't care.
yeah, we do.
If they spend less time listening to the Terminus and more time building the locomotive, I'm happier with that.
Wow.
Hey,
go.
okay, you know what?
Listening to the
You know what? I'll make this a blanket statement. Any of you that should be spending time right now building steam locomotives, stop listening to this podcast and go back to doing that.
Well,
Oh,
see
why
ya.
don't we listen?
we
Why don't we
built
listen to the
Cowboy
man
with-
on the podcast?
Once again, co-hosts and guests and hosts do not count.
Oh.
We are not listening to it. We are making it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may not abandon us to go build your steam engine.
Oh, but I got rivets. More on that later.
Like,
Sweet.
Beautiful.
The suspense is killing me.
Taking a darker note, unfortunately, speaking of the SR and RL and the 2-foot gauge, there has been a string of vandalisms at the main narrow gauge railroad, right as they're kind of wrapping up to move to their new site.
Did they work the cars? Oh wait,
Wow.
more on that later.
More on that.
But, people took stones from the track ballast and hurled them through the windows of the museum.
Right.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not the worst vandalism that happens. The estimate of damage on this is just about $750,
Oh, thank God.
which is not bad, but it comes on the heels of a $3,800 loss earlier this summer, which apparently we didn't get to cover because I don't remember hearing about that.
Oh.
But the real loss is, of course, time to replace all that stuff, where they could be working on the big projects that they're just starting on, or just
Right.
working on, like number 7 or the new yard area.
Well, not to diminish that in any way, but like you said, that's not the worst vandalism I've ever heard of. I've probably talked about this before, but just to add it to this note because it is pretty relevant here, is live steam clubs before have had experience with people actually coming in and stealing their tracks.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
What?
that's
Were those-
vandalism.
I'm sorry, were those people Conrail?
No, they were
Oh,
to remain indifferent.
to remain indifferent. Okay.
Question.
Well, it's not racial profiling if it's already happened.
That's true. And they were in a white pickup truck, so
Question.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
that was racial profiling.
Question.
What?
What are you gonna do? Why would you steal railway track? Or why
To
would
sell it for
You
scrap
can
metal.
sell the rails for scrap
It makes
because a lot of
money.
live steamers use aluminum rail, which you can sell scrap aluminum for quite a bit.
At least not use copper.
Oh, I
People-
thought you
and-
meant like full-sized line.
No,
Or like live
uh,
steam clubs, like they'll come in and they'll tear up because they don't have spikes to hold them together. They just use screws.
Yeah.
they should start like fusing them to the ground.
They're just like Elmer's gluing the tracks together.
They start bending atoms to put them into the ground.
Let's make some molecular bonds between these rails.
He's just
rails
gone.
in China.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And the core of the earth.
You know, I realized I should have done my my things in the other direction. That way I wouldn't have ended on such a bad note, and I would have had an excellent connection because of the steampunk fall foliage excursions.
Yes, because
And-
literally the only news that I have at all out of any of mine. Well, first off, let's start with an opening statement. Colorado has a lot of narrow gauge, and narrow gauge engines have smaller drive wheels, and therefore they go very
This
slow.
is not an excuse.
News is very, very slow.
So they have really, 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 really small drivers? The news?
Drive wheels.
Do they have
Don't
mixed
get down on the drivers.
driving?
I'm gonna be one of them one day.
Size doesn't matter, it's how you use it.
Whoa.
Indeed. And since the narrow gauge were more versatile, giggity giggity. But anyway,
Cough cough Moro Castle.
literally the only news that I have out of any of my jurisdictions is that, well, minor news, the Durango and Silverton is now offering first class to full-sized families, which I think they were doing that before and just suspended it for a time.
Cool.
Why?
And I don't know.
Did they
Don't
not
ask
have?
us.
Did they not have enough first class cars? Did they
I
just
don't know.
finish refurbishing something?
They just finished refurbishing the first class coach, Yankee Girl.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Dude,
And they did that
look
half a
at
year ago. I think I covered it in the first Terminus episode.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
It was either the first or
Or
second.
one of them, because I remember going giggity.
Yeah, I know. It was either the first or second. One of the really early Terminuses or Termini. I covered it, and
Yeah,
literally
when we
the only
when we
news
weren't
is on
organized
San
at all.
Luis.
Yeah, when we weren't really organized at all. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's still. It's like looking in a mirror.
Ellis,
Let's
stop
go.
clicking back and forth on my thing.
Anyway, the
What?
I just see your cursor going up and down on my Strasbourg and Cass line.
can I literally get
bored.
done with the only news? It's gonna take me 5 minutes to get through one sentence.
All right.
On the San Luis and Rio Grande, they're having fall-colored specials. There, boom, that's your tie-in. Let's move on. TJ.
So, the Wicasset. The Wicasset. What?
Wicasset.
The Wicasset in Farmington.
Oh,
The
what,
new-
oh, you should have done the death thing so we could tie it into the whatever it is in Wicasket.
The new. Oh my
Okay, that's
God.
another point for Wiebold.
The new main narrow gauge museum.
Uh-oh.
Well, the main narrow gauge museum is moving their
I'm
museum
moving this.
to a different place, which is the Gray Wildlife Reserve.
Yes.
Will the Wicasset in Farmington become the new main narrow gauge museum?
I don't know. How was that supposed to happen?
Nobody knows. We're not. That's kind of what you're supposed to tell us.
I don't know. Will they? I don't understand how they need to be replaced. They're just moving.
Yeah. This seems highly irrelevant to everyone.
So
Did you just want to introduce that as one of your jurisdictions? Because
Yes.
now you can have it.
yeah, that's like
Ah.
the trailer, the teaser trailer.
Okay, good trailer.
But
Okay. Good
so
trailer.
Strasbourg, they're still running in
Although I
reverse.
think I'm just going to see it on
It's so
demand.
one in a movie.
And Cass, they have Shays.
Mother of God.
Milky,
I did not know that.
I did not know this.
That was so deadpan. It worked perfectly.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, if you just pointed out it. So,
Out it.
pointed out.
okay, so fire up
Okay.
7. More work is being done.
Grammar,
Right now, I'm giving a rough estimate here, but early 2015 is when they're gonna have it done.
Question.
Are you just eyeballing it?
Do they have tender decking?
Yes, the tender
Oh, good.
been
Then
dead.
it should be done any day now.
Indeed.
I'll be right back. Gotta take care of some important business.
As for,
Taking care of business.
as for, as for
That's a
the
point for
work in-
Ellis.
What?
That should be a point for you.
No, because it was a good song.
Okay. But on that
Wow.
note, general work is being done on the 197, 4449, and maybe SPNS 700. And SPNS 700 and 4449 are going to be at National Train Day next year. Work
Sweet.
Ooh.
going to be cool for the guy.
Need him to bring 4449 down for Train Mountain.
McClunny.
Then we can start recreating the events of Portland.
Indeed.
Speaking,
Except
Speaking
for
of-
just South Pole.
Speaking.
Everything
Spoilers,
aspect of it.
spoiler. Zeppelin, spoiler.
Really, I said nothing that was a spoiler, and then Zeppelin.
Where did you get Zeppelin from?
I'm not even sure what the
It's a
hell I'm going to do
spoiler.
with that yet.
I have a few
Speaking-
ideas.
It's well known that the dirigible corps were a large part of World War Z. So
But on that note of things coming down, Union Pacific is repairing their Siam Roundhouse, aka their steam stuff,
yeah.
to accommodate 4014 better.
Oh, what could they not fit?
No, they.
Oh, something just went by right in front of the camera.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was weird.
Hurrah!
It didn't have Hello Kitty on it.
What was weird? That what was
And,
it, like the sticker?
But Project 819?
Yeah, Project 819. There's halfway to $1,400 for an ultrasound machine to do some work on the boiler. Thank God. Another one in Fort is a good for it.
As opposed to
And
what
on that
that's
note,
right for.
oh, you have airplanes in Utah?
I have airplanes in Utah, indeed. Now there are two subjects that don't normally crop up in terms of really current events. So we have airplane. Unfortunately, is the dark side of things. So I'll start on
Oh,
on the
no.
dark side of things and move to the light side of things. This was in
Uh-oh.
Selkirk not too long ago. I think it was only a couple days after the last Terminus, and I wasn't able to catch it in time.
What the
It was
plane?
September 8th, Monday,
Oh,
September 8th.
oh no.
There is a small airfield right next to Selkirk Yard, and apparently the plane took off. A small plane took off from the airfield, and I don't believe they figured out exactly why, but the plane then dove into the yard and went
Oh,
headfirst
no.
into an auto rack.
Oh,
Somebody
God.
really hates
The-
Nissan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a horrible joke to make. In all
No,
seriousness.
More like Ford, please.
One of the two people aboard was pronounced dead at the scene. The other one was taken to a hospital and later died of their injuries.
Oh my god.
That's
Which
every
is
news channel's like thing that they say.
But if it's the
oh,
truth,
it's like true.
I
Yeah.
know, but it
It's-
happens every time.
It must be a conspiracy. It happens every time.
Well,
get Jesse Ventura.
maybe, or maybe not.
Or maybe people
Illuminati.
die.
What?
Yeah,
No idea.
But yeah, that's really unfortunate. Now my hope is that doesn't mean they're going to kind of lock down on some of the areas around, because I was hoping to go rail fanning there, of course.
Aw.
I wonder if it's cleaned. I assume it's cleaned up by now. In any case, moving on from that, we get something a little bit more on the light side. Now, let me preface this a little bit. Utah recently has had a lot of oil production in the Uintah Basin, and
oh no.
the amount of trucks on the road transporting oil and things out, and natural asphalt and stuff like that, out of the area has been, residents are beginning a little bit upset, and also the state itself is worried about the capacity of their infrastructure and if they're going to be able to handle the coming boom that is predicted. And they sent out people to do a study, and it could. The middle of the road report is, I think, a possible loss of around $10 billion
Oh
in
my
income, which could be as high as $25 billion of loss if they don't up their infrastructure. So a good part of the lobbyists, I suppose you could call them, the political sector, is starting to bring out the idea of a railroad coming back into the Uintah Basin. Now, from what direction I am unsure, but it wouldn't be the first time that people have tried to charter another route over Baxter Pass, which was the original route of the Uintah Railway.
Really?
Yes.
When was
There
the
was-
other
there was-
attempt?
Interesting.
The Deseret Power Railway, which is a railway not unlike the Black Mesa and Lake Powell that just has two
Right.
termini with the balloon loops and runs a bunch of E60s and giant coal trains.
I saw that.
I know you did. But originally they were going to go over Baxter Pass. That was the original idea of that was kind of shut down because I believe there was a washout in a highway and they couldn't transport the equipment correctly anymore, and so they had to basically come up with another path for the railroad entirely because they couldn't get the equipment to where it needed to be to build the railroad.
Wait, who is this?
The Deseret Power Company.
So the same people that built the Black Mesa, right?
I'm not sure if it was the same people.
Like the same company.
I don't know who built the Black Mesa and Lake Powell. I thought it was just them.
Oh.
I thought they were standalone, but I don't know.
I don't know.
But something else that I want to point out and that I did notice when I was out there. Oh, by the way, I'll post a link to this awesome picture of Morro Castle, where the 5 miles of 7.5% grade met the 66-degree turns. That was the most difficult part of the climb on the Uinta Railway, and it's where the tracks used to be. It's a picture from the modern day. But there is still a gilsonite mine out there in the middle of nowhere in the Uinta Basin. And in fact, it still bears the name of Gilsonite Mining Company or something like that. I saw it on Google Earth. I was really astonished to find something like that. So yeah, the Phase 1 report of Utah's infrastructure analysis, and possibly even the Phase 2, I don't know. That was a little while ago, and I did go ahead and look up the actual document, and I kind of browsed through it. That's where I got my numbers from. But I'm not sure where it's gone from there, but of course we know that the system takes a long time to work.
Right,
So
because...
Because politics.
Because things are slow...
Sure, I'll let you get away with that one.
Stop trying to relate.
Please be merciful.
Oh, yes, I should be merciful.
Yeah.
Which,
Way to ruin it.
You know, if you'd caught onto that instantly, I would have felt bad and given myself a point, but because it took you so long.
why? Because I caught onto it instantly, or because...
because it took you a second.
Oh.
You literally count.
So, one of the stories that I stumbled upon, I have nothing that is... I love how we've changed it to other current events and interesting stories, because there's a lot of stuff that's not current at all, but is just...
Who changed that, for the record? It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
I might have
Wasn't me.
actually earlier in the week. I can't remember. I thought you just did because your cursor's right there.
No, I adjusted it because there was weird spacing.
Oh. Okay, well then I might have earlier in the week, but a lot of the stuff we find is weird, and it has nothing to do with current events, it's just weird. And
It's just events.
Yeah, just interesting railroad-related events that we stumbled upon. And one of these interesting things is a train called Mercy, and this was... or Merci. And at the end of World War II, the French were... well, yeah, we all know how that went. And it's no real secret that they had kind of been saved by the Americans, and to show their gratitude, a lot of French citizens took valuables, and anything from jewelry to statues to dolls to weird little ornate fixtures and things that they treasured, and they loaded them onto a train of 49 boxcars, each of which that was painted up in a bunch of different colors. Most of them were like a gray with black lining. And, they had all these shields and ornate decorations on the sides of these boxcars, and they were loaded with treasures, taken over to the English Channel, loaded on a ship, and brought to the United States, and one boxcar was given to each state with all these gifts, and the 49th, because Hawaii and Alaska were not states at the time, the 49th was given to Washington, D.C. And it's just interesting because there's all these... it's a literal treasure train. 43 of the cars still exist, 43 of them still exist and are on display somewhere. 5 of them have been destroyed, and I can't remember off the top of my head which ones those are. And one is missing. And the
dun.
Yeah. The one that I, of course, found interesting was that the Colorado boxcar filled with all these treasures is missing. Nobody knows if it was... It could be in a field somewhere, it could be scrapped, it could be anything, but this boxcar full of treasures is missing.
It could be buried in the snow on Pikes Peak.
It could be on CSS.
Is it still full of these treasures?
When it was lost, CSX didn't exist, Milky.
Also, we're on the CSX joke in a minute, but I just found that really interesting that all these states still have theirs, and I looked up which and where all of theirs are. So for the respective states, Milky, yours is still around. Yours is in a place called Simpson Park in North Bend, Oregon, just in front of the Coos
that's
Museum.
on the coast. Woo! I gotta go.
Yeah, it's cool. TJ, the Rhode Island boxcar, if I can find it, where'd it go?
It's in the Museum of Working Culture.
Yes, thank you. It's somewhere upstate Rhode Island.
It's up in like Lincoln. I think it's close to there.
Is it at the Kingston station?
No, it's at the Museum of Working Culture.
It's in Woonsocket.
Oh yeah, Woonsocket.
What
I love
Woonsocket.
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 Woonsocket. Stupid Americans.
Backstory.
But out of curiosity, because Ellis, you are technically residing in New York right now, the New York boxcar is located at 40th and 8th Voyager number 92 in Whitesboro, New York, which I have no clue where that is.
I don't either.
It's in a park somewhere, and it has a caretaker, and it's nicely taken care of. TBA, the California boxcar, is in front of the Fresno Federal Post Office in Fresno.
How does that
I thought it was in L.A.
It's bright white.
Well, that's funny because I've been to Fresno and I haven't seen it. Which I guess I just didn't go down the right street, but...
Oh, what's funny, I went to the Museum of Working Culture and I don't think I noticed it, aren't they?
Well, they're not... It doesn't look like a boxcar, really. It looks... it's a French boxcar, so it's
It looks sort of like a shed.
Yeah, exactly. It's not what we're used to seeing. They look like garden sheds up on wheels. And especially since the one at the Museum of Work and Culture is lowered so that the wheels are hidden.
It actually does have wheels?
Box. It does have wheels, it's just lowered.
So they're more like camp cars.
Quick, what was
Not
the name
really,
of
they're
this train
called-
that delivered these boxcars?
Merci.
That's thank you.
It's the Milky train. Yeah, the thank
in
you
French.
train.
Merci,
But,
thank you train.
TJ, if you can picture and anybody else out in the audience that plays this mod, if you don't, you should. It looks kind of like the boxcar from Rails of War. It's just
Shout out to Rails of War.
Yeah, if you don't play that mod, play it.
Oh my
we'll
God.
Find you.
Crank up for the win.
Or we'll find you.
I played that game
We'll stick
and I
the
love
pendant
it.
guy on you.
Don't we not have anything that shoots anything yet?
Well, that's not quite true. We do have an ICBM
Save it.
changing.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were going with Rails of War stuff.
No, I thought
Okay.
no. I thought that was a transition.
No, that would have been really
Okay.
great.
I
I know.
If I'd
I was
realized that
like-
would have been
I was
really
like,
great.
Yes, I caught on to it this time. But anyway, well, that bombshell, that bomb. But anyway, we had apparently at one point in the history of the United States, I know the Russians were keen on this in the Cold War, and the Germans were keen on this in World War II, not with ICBMs, but with cannons. We had what looked like big, long boxcars
The
that
zombie
were
train was keen on it in
ICBM
World War II.
launchers. That
No
They had-
way.
They had no railroad logo on the side. They were just dark brown. They had all the lettering on the outside. If you didn't know what you were looking at, you'd say it was just a big boxcar.
It looks like a giant Pensy boxcar without the
Yellow
without
stripes.
the logo.
Yeah, or the logo. But basically, the roof hinges open and a launcher elevates out the top like GoldenEye style.
Oh,
Exactly
Think,
like you'd
think,
expect.
awesome.
think like a Scud launcher.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen.
Yes, it's exactly how you would picture it working. The roof slides open and this thing lifts out and elevates, and you can fire ICBMs from a rail car.
Question:
Yes,
do any of these still exist?
I don't know.
Because if they do, you need one on the something in Attack on Annex.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I need to find that. But I don't know if any of these exist, and oddly enough, actually, I'm looking at a lot of these pages that this guy has provided, which the link to this page will be in the cargoes. I'm looking at a lot of these pages, and I'm getting error 1011 access denied by the U.S. government.
Okay, so yeah, they definitely
So
exist.
yeah, I'm expecting that since they're still classified, I'm expecting there's still at least a few of these around.
Yeah.
They're called the LGM-118. Oh, the missiles they shoot are the LGM-118 Peacekeepers, which it looks like it takes
And
up.
now the CIA is coming for you.
Oh, well, this is a Wikipedia article.
Oh.
This one's a Wikipedia article. But
It's okay.
CIA would have to watch
Wait.
the Terminus.
We shouldn't trust Wikipedia. Because anybody can edit
This
it.
isn't an English report. Plus, everything else is denied. So,
So-
as far as we know, they're LGM-18
Died.
Peacekeeper missiles, and by the looks of them, it looks like they take up the vast majority of that boxcar.
On the webcam, somebody almost got hit on a bicycle.
They
In
are.
other words, they're freaking huge.
Yeah. There's
How long do you think those boxcars are? Does it say?
Peacekeeper Rail Garrison. I found a page on it. There's actually. I'll put this link in the Terminus doc under that because it's actually a really good picture of the size difference with the
Alright.
missile and the car itself. It's
I'll
just
be sure to include it in the cargoes. Why did we hit page 4? Milky.
What?
What? Apparently, some of them in the day, because they were designed in the Cold War, some of them were disguised as boxcars. Like this one is a Santa Fe disguised one.
Mhm.
But
Totally Santa Fe.
yeah. But anyway, they're just these absolutely massive boxcars. And looking at a picture of one next to this guy, the dude is probably 6 feet tall, and by his estimate, first off, the car has 4 trucks.
Oh, what it does? I didn't get that from your picture.
Yeah, it has 4 trucks.
Wait, how the hell does that even work?
They have a
Magic.
double bogey system.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
They have like a bogey they have a bogey attached to. They have 2 bogies on the cars itself, and then each bogey, instead of having 2 axles, it has 2 trucks.
Okay, that makes more sense as to what I was looking at.
Yeah. But these are absolutely massive boxcars. Judging by the size of this guy, saying he's maybe 6 feet tall, I'd have to guess these cars are 100 plus feet long.
Oh,
Good God.
I mean, these are, if this dude is 6 feet, because 10 of them would be, maybe 80, 90 feet. These things are huge.
They're like passenger car sized boxcars.
Yes, exactly. They were built in 1986, I think, or they were announced in 1986. They
Really?
are
I
actually
I honestly thought they'd be older than that.
After several years
Yeah.
of deployment, the prototype rail garrison car was delivered to the U.S. Air Force on October 4th, 1990. Blah, 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 blah. In
Wait, what
1991,
did they need
however,
them for?
the Cold War having come to an end, the Peacekeeper rail garrison was canceled. As a result, all operational Peacekeeper missiles produced were installed in former Miniman silos. They're all...
Question mark.
Oh, wow.
They're all. Well,
They're-
they never said the launchers were destroyed. They just said the missiles were put in silos.
Right, there's one of them on display here where I don't know where this is, but
yeah.
there's a list of all the ones that were produced here. There was Locomotive OM1 and Locomotive OM2, so they each had their this. It looked like it was a train of death that they made. It wasn't just a random, missile launcher in disguise in just this middle of a freight yard. It looked like it was a tactically deployed train of death.
Well, that'd be effing hilarious if it's like, oh, what's this boxcar here? I don't know. We're just shipping it. And then it's just like in the middle of travel, it opens up and shoots, and then closes back up.
The engineer's like, I'm not
I think
gonna
something
touch
just fired
that.
off the train.
That is not my job.
Mm.
It looks like it had 2 locomotives, 2 fuel cars for the locomotives respectively, 2 maintenance cars for the locomotives respectively, 2 security cars for the locomotives
Jesus.
respectively, 4 launcher cars,
God.
or 4
Oh my god.
4 launch control cars where all the computers were, 3 actual launch cars, and a flat car.
And a flat.
Well,
Well, for
Nothing
good measure.
special, just a
Question.
flat car. Yes.
Where would they store all the ammo for said launchers?
They don't
Well,
need
flat car.
ammo. It's one shot.
Yeah, it is a missile launcher. I don't think you need multiple shots to hit something.
Also,
Oh my God.
also, you're not gonna reload the thing on the fly.
Yeah, that's true. You probably need a very, very, very big crane to reload it.
And they obviously aren't
Well,
as
I
technologically
see
equipped
said
as the
picture.
zombie train to have such a crane.
Way to go for that reference.
But I can't see the picture, so I'm totally blind firing here.
Yeah.
That's okay. I've been
But
doing that too.
it sounds like they kind of would have performed, but especially in a Cold War atmosphere, they would have been okay. But even in modern society, they kind of stink. Which, speaking of, I hear some MBTA things suck.
Oh, good one. So
The Emperor.
JB,
Emperor.
otherwise known as the Emperor at the club, he recently retired from working at Amtrak. And,
John Brightmeyer, for those of you who don't know, is the #1 steam destroyer of the Providence and Northern. He is the one who created quote-unquote Steamtown, which is a track that leads directly off the edge of the layout, and has thus named every track that goes off the end of the layout Steamtown followed by a number, and has requested that all steam engines be sent to Steamtown.
and so
Oh
he
my
was-
goodness!
I call him. I'm debating whether to call him Steam Hitler or Steam Vader.
Team hit you. Yeah.
well, no, because he hasn't killed any of them yet.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Don't-
He's got to be one with a heart of gold, but we'll talk about that later.
What is it? All this suspense.
Suspense is
Anyway.
good for you. All right. So the MBTA's new units.
So MBTA recently came out with new sloped hood units.
They look terrible.
They do look terrible.
It's like
And I guess
Columbia
they're
Hood.
and I guess they're like electric, so they have batteries.
MBTA.
Who the hell's idea was that?
And
Hang on,
so
let me look it up because I
So-
can't seem to find any pictures of it. Is there one in the dock?
No.
No,
no,
not yet, but there'll be one in the cargoes. if-
Yes.
I don't know the classification of it. I just know that
It's
they have.
okay. I know. I have a link to the MBTA locomotive roster from an earlier terminus.
MBTA
Oh, okay.
electric. Are they the things that kind of look like genocide but more slopey?
Yes,
Yes.
They're
derpy.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But so
Alright,
I guess
they look-
they run on batteries, and their
They look
batteries
like
are
that
really
meme
bad.
of the dude that's like
And so I guess they're really bad.
and they're quite purple.
Like the batteries, they keep dying, and the engine keeps shutting down. So I
Oh.
guess
Whose idea was
so I guess
So
JB?
it's a-
was sitting in his office, and all of a sudden he looked out his window and he saw the engine moving, and then all of a sudden it just turned off. And he said that they're so bad.
See, this is why the F40s are superior.
It's a metal machine.
And they
It's
also
close to
And then-
midnight and he's barking at the moon.
And then I don't have this in the interesting stories because I forgot to put it in, but I just remembered it now. So MBTA is also working on. Well, they're not really working on it yet, but they know that they're going to do it. They're going to rebuild the branch to Fall River.
Ooh,
Ooh.
very
And-
nice. Wait, there isn't a branch to Wait, from where?
From the Boston area. I don't know where
There
exactly.
isn't a branch already?
No.
Don't they still have tracks there?
Yeah, there's tracks, but they have to redo them for
Are
weight
they
restrictions.
just rebuilding it?
Oh, they're P&W tracks, aren't they?
Something like I'm not really sure. I just know they're redoing.
how can
No, I
they
know
be-
something. I know something definitely runs into Fall River. So, but in any case,
But
they're going
so,
to be redoing them for passenger travel.
yes,
Whoa.
and then so JB was saying how he thinks that that's a terrible idea.
Hmm.
Well, not that it's terrible, but he thinks it's a terrible idea that they're probably gonna electrify it.
With catenaries
He didn't specify, but that's what I
or
assumed.
with crappy batteries.
Well, no, because I was thinking catenaries because I said something. I said, but they don't have any electric units. And he said, well, people associate catenaries and electrified as eco-friendly. I was like, but they don't have any electric units. He's like, yes, TJ, we've been saying that for years.
Are they serious?
Well, I
They
mean,
literally
they could always
just have catenary wires to make it look eco-friendly.
They could always, get some secondhand toasters.
Oh,
I mean,
speak of.
it's
Hang on,
it's
I'll
never
be right
been,
back.
It's
Sorry.
never been beneath them to get
Instead.
stuff from Amtrak
Well-
before, especially with the F40s.
There he goes to get toast.
Yep. Well,
But,
we knew that was going to happen. So
So another story we talked about was the new employees that are taking his spot. Like, not just his spot, but spots in general. Well, in different companies, but the same position he was in. It's a French company. I don't really remember the name because it was really hard to remember. But it began with a K. Ellis, do you know anything about it?
no. Oh,
Okay.
yes. I don't know the name.
Yeah,
But
it's
I-
a really,
And the
I
penny
know
drops.
because I talked to the people at length when I was waiting for my many hours delayed late short limited, but I don't remember what the actual name of the company was.
But so I guess JB talked to one of the new employees because he just saw them one day
He
at his
gets
yard
buff.
that he usually works at,
Mm.
and they really seemed like they didn't really know much about train in general, like railroading. And so he goes, "Oh, what's an iron horse?" And they didn't know what an iron horse was.
That's bad.
Idiots,
Ugh.
idiots everywhere.
That's
And then-
bad.
Speaking
yet-
of that,
That's very bad.
And yet
Go
it's
ahead, Bubba.
it's considered a competitive job market.
yeah, well, Jim Reddington, who we mentioned earlier, said something about how people who hire people in human resources don't really care about if they know railroading. They care about other things that, like
Money?
how many years they've been working, or like how much money they could produce, or like
Or how
I don't
much
know,
they
something
He
like
nailed
that.
it.
And then so Jim Reddington, they don't really care about what they need to actually be doing in the job, like to know if they should hire them or not. Like JB said that he talked to a guy that like he saw a few new employees that a couple of them weren't strong enough to throw the switches or uncouple the couplers or pull the pins and stuff.
How are you not strong enough to uncouple the couplers? TJ, you and I did that.
Yeah, I know.
I was
That
gonna
was-
say I have the upper arm strength of a gerbil and I can do that.
And he was saying
And
how
I don't
it's-
even lift.
and
Like
he was
literally
saying
in
how-
gym
could
class on the
probably
first
do
day
it
I had trouble
myself.
lifting the bar.
and
Yeah,
he was saying how, and then JB said that some of them were like really overweight and stuff like that, like really out of shape and not fit to do the job. But and then Jim Reddington, they started talking about safety again, and Jim Reddington said something they were complaining about because you couldn't kick cars, and you couldn't go onto the train because they have like these hooks that you use to turn the brake wheels, I guess.
Mm.
And not like you don't go up onto the boxcar and turn the brake wheel anymore.
Because brake wheels are icky.
And so I guess they were saying how it takes like almost 5 times as long to do some switching than it would have with like a few years ago when you could do like when you could kick cars and like do all the stuff that you used to be able to do in the steam era, like when you switched. But I guess JB said that he still trains people when he's training them.
He trains them to do that. Well, I could totally see him doing that because during the op session, he got to the point where he was just friggin' ignoring the dispatcher and sending people. Because we got so backed up one of those times. I think it
Yeah.
was one of the first op sessions that I was in.
Yeah, I think that was the first one we were in.
He set the precedent for when I started running Framingham.
Yeah. And then
It was like, don't give a crap about anything.
and then someone and then I was talking to someone else. Oh no, I was still talking to John and Jim, and they were talking
John
about an
Jacob
accident.
Jingleheimer Schmidt. Da 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 da.
Wiebold.
And so they were talking about an accident that happened a couple weeks ago, near the yard that John works at, JB, and so he was saying that the accident was between an MBTA train and another MBTA train, and so they were only going like 15 miles an hour because it was in a yard,
Oh.
and they were both doing
So-
switching moves, and so I guess it's from coming around a corner, and so I guess in that area you have to change your radio frequency,
Uh-oh.
like your channel, and so I guess like this is what JB's theory was, that like the conductor operating the cab car was turned around to check, because in the cab cars on the MBTA, I guess the radios are in the back,
Because that
not
makes
in the,
sense.
like they have to turn around
Well,
to change the channel.
Thinking
And so-
would.
Well,
So they were assuming JB's theory is that the guy turned around to change the channel and he didn't really see the train around the corner,
Oh crap!
and then
that
they
is
just
so bad.
And they just kind of thud.
trains went boom.
Were they metal machines?
No, they weren't.
Machine.
He didn't say anything it was, but they definitely weren't UFOs.
What? Why would they be UFOs?
Milky?
Okay. On that note,
No one got that.
if you wire the Amtrak cascades to University of Oregon games, you can save 25%. The more you know.
Whoa.
And on
So
that
Milky's apparently working for Amtrak now.
No, it
Milky,
was-
no! Come to
No.
the dark side.
That's not the dark side.
Milky,
He's
go.
That's
They're the
silver
people that
side.
just get inevitably boned by every freight service in the country.
It's a
Yeah,
problem.
they just get
And
overruled.
try. The next thing I have is entitled WTF Try Matt, and it's called that because you know how it's a
Because
streetcar
WTF track it.
No, it's kind of like a streetcar company in Portland. They're building a light rail line to Oregon Rail Heritage Center from Union Station, which is right across the river
that's
from
good.
it.
Sort of?
Yeah,
No?
but that isn't the point. The point is, try Matt.
Yeah, Ellis, shut up.
Try Matt.
Well, because he goes WTF, and then he's like, "Oh, they're building a new line," and I'm thinking, well, isn't that
No.
a good thing?
No. No, that's the note that I forgot to cover. Yeah.
die.
No, that's the thing I forgot to talk about. Yeah, it's 2 minutes. That. But TriMet releases video of Northeast Portland Max train derailment. Oh no.
Oh my.
Is that what is? Oh dear me. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure.
What's
Is that-
going on?
Is it on the track in this frame? Nope, it's not.
What?
I'm looking at the video.
It's
Holy cow. Oh yeah.
But
Like the video of the derailment.
Max
Of the derailment. It just went through a sign.
What?
What?
It just demolished a sign.
Thanks, CSX.
by the way, I didn't watch
This
the
has
video.
nothing to do with CSX.
It's not even close.
it-
Oh my
Is
gosh, it's
Conrail?
horrible.
No, they're
It's not
teaching
Conrail.
It's having
America.
discounts.
These buses have spoilers on them as they go by.
Oh, 'cause swag.
Swag.
But speaking of new
aerodynamics.
railroad track, Milky, because you were saying they were building a new
Yeah.
line, where else are they building a new line?
They're also building a new 4-mile railroad line for the Oregon State Zoo.
Oh, it's 4 miles?
Yeah, like a 4-mile
Wow.
line.
I'm kind of impressed.
But yeah, they're like 15-inch gauge trains that go around the zoo and whatnot. Good for the kids.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
And
that
for
one,
us.
and that one whale fan that didn't ride them. Cup me.
Not
But-
one guy.
But yeah, they're pretty much building a new line, and they're starting to renovate parts of the old one. But speaking of renovation, people are frustrated with being sub-traffic. Whitewash, Washington is requesting to relocate the waterfront tracks.
See, they did this thing over here in one of the towns that's currently modeled on the New England, Berkshire, and Western, and the town was never as nice afterwards. So I'm against this.
Yep, but
But you've got, in the immortal words of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you've got to build bypasses.
well, but on the note of people being mad, more oil protesters in Oregon, out of all places. Remember last time how they were in Washington? Now they're coming to Oregon. What's next?
They're
Migrating south.
Yeah, they are. But they're just mad.
Quick, we need to
about
steal the
oil
4449 and go to San Francisco. What?
Quick,
Spoilers.
quick! I'll help you. I'll help.
No.
I'll help you by maintaining it for 6 months.
Good job, Milky. Pat, pat, pat.
And
I
I
applaud.
have 700.
What you can really help us do is switch it from oil to coal firing in like 2 days,
I'll get my men on it.
and hopefully less of a hack job than Wiebold did with 18.
Wow. Really?
You just ripped out the burner, man.
Well, yeah.
He sounds so innocent.
Speaking of things with
We
it now,
gutted
it's
the
time
oil
for
tank,
Locomotive Versus.
But speaking of people butting up against one another, TBA Avenger, you have the first call on if you want to do something in this week's Locomotive Versus.
Yeah.
So you said your proposal was the Big
Union
Boy
Pacific
versus
Big
the
Boy.
Y6B?
Yes, the Union Pacific versus Big Boy
I don't know
Y6B.
I don't know what
Now-
to defend.
What side would you like to pick on that?
Big Boy.
Alright. Well, we need to
But-
get someone here to handle the Y6B. I think I'll take care of it.
Okay,
I
good.
don't have any of the facts up for that.
It's
And I-
okay, I'll get them.
Team up,
Guys, just fill the dead air with chatter while I grab these guys.
So,
Okay,
how
Mike,
about the
Mike,
Mets?
Mike.
Chatter, chatter,
So how about
chatter, chatter.
Seattle?
Not that kind of chatter. Jesus Christ, TJ.
Chatter.
The thing that I really want to talk about, I can't.
Hey, Milky, the weather's really nice today, huh?
Yeah, it's just
It's funny because you guys don't live anywhere friggin' near each other.
Yeah, and it's a thunderstorm outside, so...
It's fun to swim on this particular area that we're in.
Mm.
Try not to
Son of a
talk
gun.
about.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to talk about it, but I am.
Oh, hush up. Don't say it.
Oh well, I can keep
Yes,
it up.
it's raining.
It's raining,
hallelujah, it's raining, man.
and there's
It's
the sound.
raining, man.
Oh.
Hallelujah.
Do you also hear the sound of that space shuttle that's taken off?
No.
It's because there isn't one.
What?
Rest in peace, space shuttle program.
Oh. Rest in peace, NASA.
Rip
Nah,
NASA.
NASA's still doing fine. NASA's like going big or going home.
NASA
It's a
always.
space shuttle, Milky. It's a rocket.
Ellis,
Oh.
where do you get the stats
Okay.
for the locomotive?
I'm actually grabbing yours right now. I already have mine. Here you go. I'm gonna hand them off. We're using SteamLocomotive.com as we usually do.
Okay,
and
I was
here's-
actually
Shout out to
just there.
SteamLocomotive.com, who we are completely not endorsed by in any way, shape, or form. Nods head
Okay,
conveniently.
so
Alright, so there's mine and there's yours. I'm gonna go take the
We
Y6B at the very end of the line there with some of the greatest stats and also one of the highest minimum weight of rail
Whoa!
that I have ever seen.
Highest minimum
It's
weight.
114 pounds per yard.
Jeez.
However,
Well,
that
maybe
is
that's
also
due
the same
to the
as,
fact that they filled the firebox with lead to give it tractive effort.
among other things.
Oh, so
Uh,
you're looking at the firebox heating surface?
Well, I was looking at the minimum weight of rail, but ours is the same on that. So, what is your heating surface?
111 square feet.
Is that your firebox area? Oh no, your grate area.
Hold
Hold on, let me look at your thing.
I think
Let's go with the combined heating surface.
combined heating surface. Trying to find
It's down there. It's down near heating ability. It's in the bottom third.
Oh, right there. There's all the stats right there.
Yeah.
Ain't that convenient?
Damn right, son. Well, I'll just give you a hand here.
8,355 square feet. I think.
All right.
Are you
well,
sure?
There are multiple versions there.
Or there's
8,000 square
that-
feet.
that is-
798 square feet.
Wiebold, that's combined heating surface. That includes the evaporative, the superheating, the grate area, and the firebox.
I was like,
Uh,
your firebox is not that big. That's bigger than a medium-sized house.
Yeah, no, we've got,
firebox.
It's still significantly better. Either one is significantly better than the Y6B, which only has 6,300 or about 6,400.
But what about
however,
the Y6C?
However, the Y2 has the best of them all with 7,800, but I'm just going to stick with the engine that we've come here to look at. So, one of the other things, the question I have, which unfortunately you beat me out on that, is your factor of adhesion, which is 4.03 on the 484-2, whereas the Y6B has 4.32 instead of 4.03, which means that it's I believe that means it's got more power than it needs.
Oh.
No, that means it's too heavy for its own good.
Nice
It's
job.
I always forget which one is which. Of course, it's better to stay close to 4 in any case. So you've beat me there. Let me see if I can grab anything that's to my advantage. Whereas you can do the same thing.
More filler time.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, that's right. You know what I have got you on?
Hey, Milky.
What?
The thing that
You have me on
CSX does a
torque, I
lot just
think.
happened to me, so don't do the same.
Derail.
Lol.
Close. Starts
For
with a
the
C.
Ellis, I think you have me on. I want to say tractive effort, I think, but
I have you on fuel as
Don't
well. I can
do
carry 30
the
tons of
same.
coal where you can carry 28.
Or I lose everything.
I can carry more
Wait.
fuel than you.
you only
What
have
is the bottom line tractive effort?
tractive effort. Where'd it go? I just
Don't
had it.
worry,
you.
Wiebold, the whale bench
Uh,
coming.
135,375 pounds.
No, actually, you have got me beat over there. I only have 126,000 thereabouts. What's your driver diameter? I'm pretty sure you've beat me out there because the big boys were
Huge.
kind of the
Huge.
epitome of
Big
haul
wheels.
steam locomotives.
The driver wheelbase?
We're a
No, the
great
diameter.
rolling
Here's it.
railroad.
It's 68 inches for you, which is quite
Actually, not that
sizable.
big.
Oh, right there.
It's not that big, but for what the engine is, it's pretty sizable.
It's big for a freight engine. For a passenger engine, I'm surprised it's actually not bigger.
Yeah. Oh well. If we, I kind of have an idea for a future Locomotive Versus, and that's just kind of building in the back of my head. But with 57-inch drivers, you actually have got better speed than I do. Ultimately,
Let's see, how fast
Wow.
does this go?
Big boy going faster than the
It is-
Y6B.
Yeah, it's not looking great for the big boy right now, or for the Y6B right now.
yeah. The Y6B, unfortunately, it was built in 1948. The big boy was built in 1944, but obviously the Norfolk and Western did not have the ideas that Union Pacific had.
Well, they did. They
For them,
came up.
it was.
They built 1218 to you, next to you after the big boy.
Oh, What
Well, yeah,
was
but they didn't-
confusing me was the 4884-1 and the 4884-2. That's what was confusing.
Yeah, I was looking at the -2 because it's the later version.
Oh, okay.
You know what's something I want to point out just to discredit the Y series even more, because it's obvious I'm not gonna take the cake on this one. Despite having a 300 psi boiler for the both of us, the Y3B, otherwise known as the Y4, had a factor of adhesion of 5.01, which is the furthest from 4 that I've seen in a locomotive that's participated in Locomotive Versus so far.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty clear who's going to take the cake here. You guys can cast your votes.
Well,
Unless,
Big boy.
Big boy. Smashing.
Avenger, you're not allowed to cast a vote. You're not part of this.
Oh.
Well, he was.
Well, I mean, you are part
He
of
is
this.
a
You're
part
not
of it,
part of the
that's why he
voting
can't.
process. Yeah.
yeah.
One question. Total engine and tender weight.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to know.
12. I can't. It's difficult.
Hold on. That's 1,208,750 pounds for the big
Jesus.
boy.
Good lord.
Whereas
That's
the
huge.
Y6B is 990,000. It's 200,000 pounds lighter.
Which is better? What would we be there for?
We've gone back and forth on this so many times. I'm still not sure which is better.
Heavier.
And
Maybe.
frankly, one of the things that I'm not sure exactly if the big boys do it this way, but the fact that they have 4 of the same kind of cylinders, as opposed to the J classes, 2 of the high pressure and 2 of the low pressure.
Oh, it's like it's a simple mallet.
Yeah,
That was
so
the
it's
Challenger's claim to fame before the big boy, was that it wasn't
A mallet.
a simple and a compound engine. It was a dual compound recycling.
Yeah. So you've got better pressure to the all 4 cylinders in that case. So bottom line, big boys taking the cake.
Okay.
And TJ didn't cast his vote, but I think I can figure out exactly what
I just said
TJ's still
big boy.
gone?
he
Oh,
said.
right
Woo!
here.
No, he's still here. He's talking.
I just said big boy.
Oh.
Oh, I heard you say woo. I didn't hear you say big boy. Oh, well, that's another one down.
Alright.
Unfortunately.
One
Rest in peace. Another Norfolk and Western attempt at another East Coast attempt at tackling the big boy.
Nothing can topple the big boy so far. Although, maybe the far west can do just as good. Anyway,
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, moving on to model railroading. TJ's shared a lot of his stories from the Providence Northern Cookout, but if he wants to elaborate on that, he's got the chance right now.
Well, cookouts are full of food, and this food is from award-winning barbecue cook Chris Clegg, who's also a co-conspirator of the diesel-hating Globe at Vermont.
And he's also our dispatcher.
Also our dispatcher.
Which is why I couldn't get him to throw the switches and run Lee out of the engine house in the middle of an operating session. But in any case, TJ, anything more to add?
Let's see. Dot.
Dot.
However, model railroading is nothing in light of virtual
that is not
scale.
nice.
Get served.
Virtual scale?
No, we have plenty more stuff to talk about
Oh
in
yeah.
model railroading. For
Yeah, we
example,
talked
the
about last.
New England, Berkshire, and Western, we have a thing called Oktoberfest, and no, it has nothing to do with booze whatsoever. So don't get excited yet.
That's
It is just an operating session in October.
Surprisingly, that's
Now, however,
what came to my mind.
That's unfortunate.
yeah, however, in any case, there are so many freaking broken things. Remember how last time I was just disassembling tortoises?
Tortoise. Yeah, but you said they go ribbit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I did not say that.
No, I said.
Oh, right, you did.
I was like,
But, we've got a long list of things to fix in about half a month. So, we have been working double time to, underneath the layout, frantically repairing buses and, as in electrical buses.
The transit we have down there is just terrible. I mean, we're going full MBTA down there. It's like, woo.
Hey, MBTA usually works because Metal Machine, but...
Unfortunately, it has suffered, well, the Tesla effect.
Hey, do not make fun of Tesla.
But they make crappy cars.
Oh my gosh.
No, they make amazing cars.
They make amazing cars. They're Teslas are like the bully Pacifics of England in that they have a tendency to sometimes spontaneously combust.
They've been better about that.
They've been better.
Random
Every technology has its startup hiccups. We've seen enough of the stuff on Steam Loco locomotives to know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god, that vegan website.
That website is fantastic. But on the New England Berkshire and Western, when I did take a moment away from the monotony of disassembling tortoise machines, and the longing to go and fix stuff when we don't have enough soldering irons, I decided to walk into Rutland Yard and find, lo and behold, an actual Pacific, as opposed to one of the converted Hudsons that we've had hanging around in the past. That doesn't mean we don't still have two formerly Hudsons, now Pacifics, after they had a little bit of a altercation, but alteration, I really mean. But they're this one at least is legit. So I went and took it around with a nice little passenger train, and then I ran another little passenger train with a couple of Boston and Maine coaches I found for Lee. Hanging out in south staging. Of course, it couldn't pull all four of them.
At least you're just discriminating against him now.
Partly because two of them had been sitting on their own for a while and didn't run very well at all. But the other two, which actually were not covered in dust, he could get along with pretty well, and later pulled them all the way around the layout when my mom has come up for the weekend to see me. And so I just I got her kind of upset with me because she wanted me to stop and do like photo ops, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna run the train all the way through. I'm not gonna stop and back up. And she's like, come on, I wanna put the engine next to these pictures and take a picture. And I was like, no, we'll get to the next scenic spot and catch a picture. And then we went through that because she was too busy talking to one of the other people. Just like, what happened?
The fiddle you're playing is playing a very familiar tune.
Yeah, we were getting. I got all the way through all the way through to the north end of the map. The northern town is called Chateauguay. I don't.
Chateauguay.
It's spelled Chateau Gay.
Chateau Gay.
Yeah, and I always feel weird when I'm saying it out loud, but it's not the northernmost point on the map, but it is the northernmost town on the map. So I got up there and I'd stopped my train, and tomorrow probably I'll take down, or really today when this video is up, podcast, I'm gonna grab some freight and run it back down to Troy. But I had to explain to her what a PA was.
An Alco PA? Or...
Yeah, an Alco PA.
Oh,
She's like, I was just talking, because there was one in a picture, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a PA, and she goes, what's that? So, and then she asked why it was called a PA, and I was just kind of like,
the intercom assist.
I don't.
Why are they called PAs?
I assume passenger, and then it's just an A unit?
Alco, maybe?
No, because they
Because
have PBs.
the Bs weren't PBs, they were PABs.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes more sense.
Maybe the
Alco
passenger.
PA, let's see.
Maybe just the PA is just passenger.
They were built...
Well, that's what I
Oh,
figured.
I guess they were cabless. Yeah, I guess that's exactly it. It's PA and PB. I thought they were PAB.
Oh. Pap.
I've seen them lettered as PA-B. Although,
Oh, well.
what does the P stand for?
Passenger? I don't know.
Listen.
Peanut butter.
Because there's FAs and PAs. Maybe...
I'm gonna...
TJ.
Yeah. It's passenger and freight,
Is it?
I would assume. I would figure. I
No,
mean, think
it's
about it.
Patsu something.
It's what?
What?
No, it's Patsu something.
Wait.
F8
Think about it.
is
Wait.
even.
Think about this. Like F7s, the F stood for full, didn't it? So what if? But
Did it?
I
Did it? I thought it stood...
no
I
F
don't-
because like F7s were passenger
No,
units.
F stood for 14. As in
Did?
14,000 horsepower.
Oh.
Yeah, because
14,000.
E unit stood for 18,000 horsepower.
15,000 watts.
Mind equals 12.
50,000 watts of...
1.7 gigawatts.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's okay. That's why we're here.
We barely know what
Yay.
we're talking about anyways.
Yeah. In any case, I'm all done with the New England, Berkshire, and Western for this podcast. So, Wiebold?
Yes. We actually had
No.
something go pretty well this week. We
Yeah.
didn't do any op session. We didn't do any work. We kind of just loused around for a while, shooting the wind, and said, hey, let's pick up some controllers. We set, I think, the westbound main line to run on DC, so we could run some of the bigger passenger trains, and then eastbound and the yard was DCC. And we were doing switching and stuff with DCC. I got a train made up for myself because I'm technically, my consolidation is technically a road switcher, or it's counted as that. So I had to make up my own train, took it around the lad a couple times, switched off a few cars, put on a few cars, got back, uncoupled with that, and then did some more switching around the yard. Yeah, nothing really eventful, just a nice night of running. Not an operating session, but just a nice run night.
I love those.
Yeah. They seem even though they're not run off of a schedule, they always seem to run more smoothly.
They always do. It's because you're not trying to stick to a schedule, so if something goes wrong, you don't get upset of it.
But that's
Over
just
it.
the thing with us, is it's never the schedule that messes us up.
It's always that one guy.
Yeah.
No, it's always double-heading 2662s.
And trying to use those as a road switcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Singular, not plural.
Road switcher.
Road
Just one.
switcher.
Yeah. Es no bueno.
Es no bueno. Si.
That's bueno.
But yeah, that's really all I have. Nothing really else worth of note. So, Milky, you have something? Well,
Hey,
you don't have very much news. You have some little news.
I have some maybe news.
Maybe news.
Maybe. I might begin a small exo out soon.
Ooh.
And
Excellent.
that'd be the temporary home of the Oregon Stone Railroad. Or Mall Railroad, anyways. But on that note, TJ, yeah, barbecue.
You have a barbecue.
I'm pretty sure we've elaborated on the barbecue as much
Okay.
as
Yes.
physically
I'm not-
possible here.
I
I don't know why,
barbecue.
TJ. I don't know why you included the club barbecue not at the Providence Northern section.
Oh, because I
That's
totally forgot
up
about
here.
the Northern section.
Okay, so,
And
Yeah,
you didn't
club
forget
barbecue.
about it when he asked you if you had anything more.
Well, I talked about it.
The barbecue
In
you
any
just came
case-
from earlier today.
In any case, I get the sinking feeling that you guys are playing a video game. So what
yeah,
would that be?
we are.
I'm not.
Yes,
Train.
actually, that would be
We are.
Gary's mod. Which I'm really, really, really hoping that was transition and not bad.
Yes, it was.
Wiebold, you just pointed it out.
I'll take the point for that one because I was really scared that we were
No,
like,
I'm
busted.
not going to give you a point for that one because it was good to cover your own hide there.
Okay.
It's a trap.
But yes, Gmod. Milky was building a Centennial a second ago, which I helped him out with, and I'm building a K36.
I have some
And
more
I've
railroading.
been building more railroads in Gary's mod.
Yes.
I'm-
That apparently have
Wait,
space shuttles
I-
that aren't space
I-
shuttles, they're
I
rockets.
built-
Wait,
I built two.
wait. I have some auto railroading.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone.
And on that,
Stop the presses!
I'm
Okay.
All
sorry.
right.
Pressing.
Model railroading.
Wait, what? All right.
Model
so,
railroading. Go.
Okay. So it was a couple weeks ago. My grandparents, they live in a gated community, and they have a model railway there. It's called the Rio Vista Railway, and so they had an event there where there was some live steam there, and they had it's a G scale layout, so they had a G scale 262 and a GP60 just running around out there, and that's all I've got. But it was interesting. I mean, the live steam wasn't the ones you sit on. It was like G scale, but
Right.
it took real water, and it was. Well, I'm pretty sure they all do, but
Speak of, do we actually have a live Steam section? Because I do have quite a bit of news on that, actually.
we kind
I
of
think we got
do.
rid of it.
Wait, I thought that was under more railroading.
Yeah, is that the
No,
Milky
Yeah,
slash...
it's the ... that you guys left, so I just skipped over it
Oh, sorry.
because I figured that meant nothing.
Sorry,
Oh.
I didn't notice that was the section.
so anyways,
Uh-huh.
that's it for my model railroading.
Oh,
Alrighty
Okay.
then.
well, skipping backwards yet again to
We're going
live
back
Steam.
to the future.
HS Kill DeLorean. But,
Needs to happen.
yes. This
HO
weekend
scale
specifically-
DeLorean.
This weekend specifically, I've been doing a ton of work on my live Steam engine, which hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hope to die, stick a cupcake in your eye, all this kind of stuff. Hopefully, it will premiere at the live Steam run day on July 4th. Or, not on July 4th. On October 4th. So, in a month, hopefully, this engine will run.
And I, as usual, don't have anything beyond the fact that I'm saving up for one. And I'm not even quite sure about that, so.
Hmm.
That's something next time to be announced.
Right.
I know what one I want, but
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to save up for it. I know it's going to be before Train Mountain 2015, but
Yeah. Have we... I always forget, have we talked about Train Mountain?
I'm sure we have.
yeah, we have.
Yeah, we definitely have because I remember including it in the cargoes
Yeah,
more
we
than
did.
once.
I know we've kind of glassed over it before, but I mean, well...
Yeah, we've gotten into it.
Yeah.
Next, if we have less negative time than we currently do, I would
Yeah.
say go right ahead. But
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
think-
in any case,
Yeah.
Gmod train building.
Yep.
Unless you guys were already all set with that.
We were kind of
Okay,
already all
so-
set with that one.
All right. Well, I have been playing probably more Train Fever than I should be, considering I have a lot of homework. But
Remember, kids, college doesn't
Sounds like me.
get any
and
easier.
call Conrail in case of emergency.
That number is insane.
1-800.
I can't remember the number.
1-800 something 0911.
Something.
It's like it's
272. I was gonna say 282, but 272.
Yeah, 272.
Yeah, because Mikado.
Because
A,
Mercury.
a 272 is like a Mikado with a broken leg.
Mikado. Oh, I can't go on, but I gotta keep going.
That's like coming over the Hawassi loop with a cracked cylinder head.
More references.
More references.
More on that later.
More on that later. I've just been having a lot of fun in Train Fever, despite the game's beta feel, I guess you could call it.
Uh-huh.
It's still quite entertaining. Although I do hear it gets considerably laggy in the late game when the cities start getting huge, because the game, as a simulator does, tries to... it basically pays attention to all the pedestrians and all the cars.
All the
Oh
pedestrians.
my god.
It pays attention to every person and every piece of cargo on the map and makes decisions for them on an individual basis.
There's no way
So-
my computer can run that then.
Yeah. Well, it starts off pretty easy, and then it just gets slowly worse. Slowly, but it just gets there.
gradually worsens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
but-
slow death.
And the shame thing of it is, I mean, you go, oh, well, should need more optimization, but really, when you have a simulation like that, it's not like it can get optimization without becoming rougher and less accurate.
Right.
So you start taking away the game when you do stuff like that. Frankly, it's just another one of those things. Like to throw out an example, like Crisis 1 or 2, when it came out, there wasn't a computer in the world that could run it at full settings, and now there's stuff that's so much better. It's just a leap in the right direction that technology just hasn't caught up with yet.
Right.
To be honest, and that goes for a lot of simulation-heavy games.
So the people making these games are outrunning the computers anymore?
In a lot of cases,
Yeah.
especially simulation games.
Oh, that's... Slow
Well, I
down.
mean, look at something like War Thunder. I mean, Ellis, out of all of us, you can probably run War Thunder on the highest graphics settings. I know at
And
least...
out of Jellies.
Oh, Jellies
Yeah.
can?
And TRG is
Probably.
actually pretty good too, though.
But I know I have a pretty good computer. You know, it's a couple of years old, but it's a pretty decent computer.
Better than mine.
And in
Same.
order to get
Everything's better than yours.
decent frames at all times, I have to run it on pretty low graphics settings.
Well, don't you have to go into that, like, emergency super low graphics support?
It just runs really well that way. I don't have to do that, although
okay.
it does. That one's for like really old computers to just get them to run very slowly. It's just if the computer's having a bad day, or if the internet's terrible, or if it's being really, really laggy.
I don't think that'll help with your internet, but whatever.
Well,
In any case, I used to run that before I got my graphics card on this computer here. That's how I used to run it, just so that it would run really nice. In any case, moving on from Train Fever to talk about the Zombie Train.
indeed.
The Zombie Train, and not the stories themselves, unless Wiebold and I do want to talk about that. I'm sure that'd be fine by me.
Yeah, we should
I'm
talk
talk-
about it sometime.
I'm talking about the
map.
map itself, the Terminus Vale and Anaconda Railway. I suppose it has its own section, but I continually call it the Zombie Train because the series is under that title. I've been having serious thoughts about a TS12 upgrade because of the content that opens up, despite the fact that I am not sure about... I've got mixed feelings about it because I don't want to shut out all the people with 06 that are hoping for this map. Because the thing of it is, of course, with the 06, you don't have the benefit of that download station just because it doesn't work right anymore. So anything that I add, it's going to be very difficult for them to come by if they want to run the map.
Right.
Unless I build it straight up in 06 to know what my limits are.
Well, it's... You know, I hate to put it this way, and it's a little bit of a rough way of putting it, but honestly, until the release of 2009, 2006 was the biggest release. It was, with the developer tools and everything, it was the most widely used train simulator probably ever. Or at least the most widely on
Including
YouTube.
MSPs and whatnot.
That's what I'm basing this off of, is amount of videos on YouTube and amount of content I've seen on YouTube.
There's
but-
not a lot of TS12 on YouTube.
It was absolutely massive, but honestly, with the release of TS12 and New Era just around the corner, I feel like you were saying with the download station, 06 is kind of being outmoded, and if people haven't already, a lot of them are starting to upgrade.
You know, and I know I've been the conduit for some of that. People have come to me asking if they should upgrade or not.
Yeah,
and
there was
things of that sort.
There was a guy the other day on my channel that was asking whether or not he should get 10 for his Windows or 09 for his Mac to have the narrow gauge, which it's a little bit off topic, but that's removed from the newer versions. So
Unfortunately. Although you
Yeah.
can still get most of it off the download station, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, and the Slug
Yeah, but-
Smasher website, you can find
Oh, yeah,
find the
and
content anywhere.
I forgot about the Slug Smasher website.
It's not that hard to come by. It's just it's a matter of convenience to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Especially with all the buildings and track and mesh and stuff like that. It's not just stock that you have to
Yeah,
get.
one of the things that I found troubling with the move to 2012 was with my 100 megabytes per day of my not first class download ticket, it took 3 days of downloads
Jeez.
to get all the dependencies that I don't have.
Good God.
That's why I
It
just
was
use
one
the
of those-
FTP links.
It was one of those things where I was sitting there like, well, this may have not been the best decision.
What to do now?
Yeah. But
Milky said that you can just change the date and time on your computer, and it won't.
Well, I've heard that from various people.
Well, you can also just use the FTP links, which you have to do them individually, and it takes a little bit more effort to get them exported into a download program. But even without a first class ticket, I get a lot of stuff downloaded reasonably quickly.
okay. And normally 100 megabytes will pretty much cover you.
Oh yeah,
Anyways. Unless you're
Yeah.
doing something stupid like migrating a giant map.
yeah.
Milky. I don't know.
No, that'd be me.
That'd be Ellis.
Why you gotta call out Milky? Like, what did Milky do?
I don't know,
What did I
because he
ever
says he says his route is going to be like 1,000 miles long, and a lot of other people think his computer
You see, like,
is just going to fry.
well, his computer is gonna fry.
No,
But,
it isn't.
Milky,
Computers fry.
it's not the size.
It is
It's,
some
it's
stupid.
how you use it.
Oh my!
Oh my!
The Geiger Mountains could teach you a thing or two.
I know.
If it
If
still
were
existed.
here,
Not that Geiger Mountains was small by any means, but compared to pretty much everything I've done, it's small.
I was gonna say I thought Geiger was pretty big.
Geiger was like, yeah, it was like 4 tiles by 8 tiles.
Oh,
Oh, it was.
that's
like
actually
all-
rather small. Now that I think about
that's
it.
Yeah, it
quite
was-
small.
It was compact and it felt huge because I decided to loop everything like 2 times.
Mm.
Everything went in squiggles and
The Hawaii.
Yeah.
You went
it was
full
giant.
Hawassi.
I went full
Squiggles.
Hawassi before I knew what full Hawassi was.
You're right.
But
Train hipster.
in the actual in the actual map itself, I rounded out most of the development around the pulp mill, and I've been taking cues from the New England, Berkshire, and Western, and the Providence Northern as to how to arrange not only my yards but the spurs and industries surrounding it, because it was something that I never got a grasp of.
Mm.
My ideas were always just everything's unit trains, because
Firmly grasp it.
my biggest my biggest input from that was playing like Locomotion, where you don't build yards.
Right.
But
Sorry to interrupt, but do any of you know how to take a screenshot on a Windows 8 laptop?
depends what of, and I just use Bandicam for everything because it's not confusing.
No, just like a screenshot, like a picture
Like a print screen or what of?
of this trains map that you guys, that is nothing is where Terminus, Vale, and Anaconda is nothing compared to.
Is it the Razorback Classic?
No, it's like my
true.
route.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, but is 90? I'm not gonna say 90%, but is like 70% of yours textured and everything?
No.
Mine
Mine
is.
Yeah, Wiebold.
No. If I take a screenshot and
So
I put it
far,
on
all of
Skype,
mine is textured.
you'll see the textured part. It's like 4 tiles in the corner.
4 tiles in the corner, and everything else is just spread out in gray.
Oh yeah, you'll see it when I take a screenshot.
That was Geiger Mountains, as well.
Mm.
One of my
Well, eventually
future
it'll be-
projects was texturing the darn thing.
Eventually it'll be
RIP.
textured.
You should have got number 2 on that.
Heh no.
Whoever was the alternate person out.
Yeah,
Just
number
number
2 was texturer.
Okay, that's what I thought. Shout out
TJ,
to
but TJ, you were just talking about your stuff.
What? Wait, is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Wow, how amazing was
This
that?
is why you watch the doc, fool.
Well, you know,
Foosball.
my turn is in different places at different times, so like I'd know
You're-
what
you're-
to do if I was
Well, that's
consistent.
once again, watch the dock.
Watch your face.
Keep an eye on the track, TJ. Watch the track.
All you had to do was follow the damn train.
Oh god.
Don't cross the tracks at a 45-degree angle. Cross the tracks at a 90-degree angle.
Never chase after a bus. Especially one that's going up at a 90-degree angle.
But, so, yeah, it's all narrow gauge. Literally.
Whoop.
The part that was standard gauge is now 3-foot gauge.
Oh.
And everything else is 2-foot gauge, right?
Yes.
Jeez.
And I got all the SRNRL content. And
I
all
heard
the
you made some... Go ahead.
And all the CNS from Trains Forge.
Jesus Christ, man. See, that's why I want to upgrade.
All the CNS.
All your base.
All your base belongs to me.
So what were you saying, Ellis?
I heard you made some Uinta curves.
No, I didn't actually.
I like Wiebold's description of the picture of Uinta 51 on the curve, and you were like, it looks like it's going to lean out and punch you.
Yeah.
Because it's hanging off the edge of the
It's like
tracks.
it's going to do a drive-by. It's like, come here.
Where they
It's like,
made...
our partnership is hereby with dissolved.
Tag, you're it.
Tag it.
Tag you're it. Choo choo.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Quack quack.
Mother ducker. But,
It is
as
most
the
definitely
end,
a car.
or very nearly the end of our legitimate section tally. Okay.
The Wittgenstein Railroad 2.0. I've been doing some work on it. We've been building some mainline to Oregon.
You say
So-
we, like I've been doing well at work too.
Well, he's
You're good at admitting it.
He's taken over my multiple personalities from earlier in the Tamara and
I
Anaconda
was gonna
saga.
say you don't.
Oh
you don't
my
do
God.
That much.
I know, it's because I advanced from that and having like 3 hours to record each episode to having 1 hour and trying to condense it and then do post commentary.
Yeah, but yeah, we got our best guy on that. So, and
Our crack
Who's your
team of
best
Russian dancing men.
and that's about it for my virtual railroading. Number 1, signing off.
Alright, but Avenger, you got anything in that category there?
V-scale, yes, I do actually.
Alright.
Today I was actually just working on just a little bit because I felt I haven't done it in a while, but I began
Giggity.
a 2% grade into the mountains, more
Pansy.
mountains, and
Did you say
for
pansy?
Gmod, actually,
Yes!
my first train I ever built in Gmod is a thruster-powered F45.
That would have been a good thing
And-
to bring up when we were talking about Gmod trains.
You know,
That's
I-
okay, you've still got the conclusions to talk about that.
That's true.
Anyways, that's
Yeah.
all about. That's all I got. Not much.
Well, it's better than nothing. Something's finally moving on that camera there.
That's good.
And it's
I've
not-
been watching
it's
it
not
this
the
whole
camera
time.
itself for once. Yeah, I have as well. Well, I have to because I have to record the darn thing. But in any case, we come to our conclusions. First
Which-
one on the docket, 4 conclusions, as usual. Fortunately, somehow managing only 2 points.
Wait, what? No. Nah. I counted at least 3 or 4. Nah.
No,
We all
I
know
only
that I'm
gave
not
you.
that well behaved.
I decided to be nice and only give you 2.
Okay.
Maybe give Milky a chance to catch up to you, but Milky is exceptionally well behaved.
Mm.
So
I'm white.
So Milky will get the last word before we all
Yeah.
get to say goodbye. But, Wiebold,
On Gmod Railroading, for anyone who's interested in joining Gmod,
You
you
will
never
find me
power
on-
an engine with thrusters.
No.
Use E2 chips.
And TJ for the second round of conclusions.
What?
TJ, what's your conclusion this week?
Well, you know what? Wait, I put one down. Where'd it go?
It said no comment, so I assume you said you had nothing, and so I just deleted it because it was nothing, because it was no comment.
Well, you know what? I didn't put a comment. I'm saying words. The end.
Damn. Alright, Avenger, you're next.
I'm not sure what to say here.
That's fine. Because past anything that ever is ever, the T1 is the maximum locomotive. The penultimate of speed.
Okay, and why I have to say, it relates to Wiebold's comment about not using thrusters. Kids, remember thrusters are good for your health and well-being of your train. Remember, fancy coding is freaking hard.
Alright, well, everyone say goodbye. That's a wrap for today.
Bye.
Bye. I love you.
See you later, guys.
Learn how to code.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I love you.